that we should be saved.
In the mouth of his prophets, even since the world began. That's cold. Because that's, you know, these guys are trying to say like, but these guys are basically trying to say like, what the hell is it called? You know, like the last prophet. These Muslims trying to say like the last prophet, talking about some you know, some clown, some Arabs. Like that don't make no goddamn sense whatsoever. So the last prophet. God.
That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. You know?
Yeah, saved from the hand of all that hate us, man. And the thing is all these nations hate us.
That's it.
Said what? We're going to be like a residue amongst the heathen, like a vessel wherein there's no pleasure, man. No one ain't out thinking, wow, really, you know, they might enjoy when like some Jake brings home a championship, you know, he scores that goal for England. But then, you know, 2 weeks later, he's a nigger again.
Yeah.
You know, that guy be calling nigger, throwing banana peels, man. Man, forget about that. That was in the 90s, bro. Man was throwing banana peel up on the pitch. Anytime a nigga will touch a ball, that chucking banana peels at the nigga, man.
Wow.
But then he's smashing the game. Man's smashing the game, bro. Man's bringing home. Well, he's not bringing home World Cup. The Lord ain't gonna allow it. Now he ain't unsealing the man got 1966 through the power of Satan. And the Lord set the seal on the World Cups. Not never again.
Hey, let AJ lose a belt.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
no, AJ
right now they're loving it.
Well, yeah,
He's
but
a
AJ is
Nigerian,
like, oh, he's the sweetheart of the whole of Great Britain. We got guys up in pubs in fucking Scotland talking about AJ. But you know, let him lose that belt. That guy be forgotten, man. They were like, fucking nigga.
And it says, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham, that he would grant unto us that we being delivered out of the hand of our enemies might serve him without fear.
Yeah, that's it, man. Because it's like the service of the Lord. That's been a big thing from the jump, man. Because hey, that's a big part of who we are, man. Said we're gonna be a nation of king and priests. So, you know, priests basically attend to the services of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. And that's something that been Israel's job, man. You got, just like you go back to what was it, Ezra, when he was saying, oh, let us build with you. Saying, no, you can't build with us. You fucking heathen bastards.
Yeah.
You hammer fucks. Then them guys got upset. Hey, that's how the Lord basically got it going down, man.
Yeah, if I can say this as well. Hey, furthermore, you know, the Lord equates the heathen nations like unto spittle, man. So how the fuck does that show any care for the heathen nations?
Yeah.
You know, a drop that falling from a vessel, you don't give a shit about that.
We're getting spit. That's terrible.
Amos chapter 3, I'm going to start from verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore...
That's it, wow. So you only have I known. And that's, you know, this is something that these wacky Christians don't want to accept. They don't want to eat. The thing is you go through the scriptures. Everywhere you go, you just got some, you know, some legendary double-edged swords just swinging up these Christians. But these guys just try and run to, like, you know, oh well, you know, okay, wasn't this guy? This guy was a heathen. This guy was a heathen. You know, these guys are trying to squeeze their way in. But the thing is like the Lord, he changes not, and he basically set up who's going to be saved from the beginning, man. He has his people. Bro, it's like, you know, it's like watching a movie, and then like, okay, what's a movie? I don't know, man. Like Lord of the Rings, like what's his name? Frodo gets given the ring, man. That's like just trying to say, well, instead of Frodo getting the ring, Aragorn gets the ring and does that. Bro, you can't check the script is set, the movie's set, bro. It's gonna go, you know, everything's set. You can't just go into the movie and just change that up. Then it's a different movie.
Yeah, And it's consistent.
Yeah, it's consistent. Ain't like you just walk or you watch, you finish the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, you start the Two Towers, and the Aragorn's just there with the ring. You just like, what the fuck happened? Nah, these guys are trying to be like, okay, you're gonna, you know, you watch you read the Old Testament, then it's just like, okay, then you just, you know, in Malachi, the last book, it says what the hell's wrong with that guy, bro?
Oh gosh, man.
That is just, bro, what are you doing? Like, is he trying to be a Kendo, bro? Like, bro, I don't even know, man. He needs help. Nah, he's lost.
Malachi.
What was I gonna say? It's like Malachi is like the last book, and he says, "What the I am the Lord, I change not."
That's it.
Then you go to Matthew, and then you're just gonna try and open. Even this shit was taking the piss out of me, man. Going like that and shit. Bro, what the hell is that guy doing? Man should, you know, you shouldn't inject and then walk on the street. Inject when you're gonna lie down at home, man. But yeah, it's like Malachi is the last book. Then you go to the next book, Matthew. Man is going, oh, now it's all that thrown out the window. That's confusion. That's a hot mess. And the thing is, that's how you know that Horan is a hot mess as well. They ain't the city, you know, what's going on in that? Ain't no that just all of a sudden like, oh, Israel ain't even the people no more. You gotta, you know, if you're trying to take that seriously, you need help, man.
Malachi chapter 3 verse 6. For I am the Lord Yahweh, I change not.
Change not, man. And the thing is, the Lord hasn't changed. Because it's like, from the beginning, it's like you go to what, to Proverbs, it says what, the wicked was created for the day of evil. And that's how the Lord's dealing with it. When you go to Obadiah, he saw just for the grand judgments, man. You go to Revelation, the same thing, man, the grand judgments. And that's how the Lord deals, man. It's just like his people, it's like, you know, Jake didn't start off dark skin and then just turned into a bunch of Edomites. That's how you know, bro. These, you know, it's the scriptures is too much for these, you know, the guys claiming to be the Jews, these so-called Jews. That's why they don't even deal with, they can't even deal with the Bible, really. Them man deal with the Babylonian Talmud. That's what they actually get down with. Because the Bible just cuts them.
Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the intent of a lot of these nations, man. They're basically been trying for the jump. It's like, we hate these guys, we've done them and we're good. That's all these guys want. You take out the Israelites, then we got this. And that's what every nation's been trying to do, man. Like, what's his name? Was it not Mordecai? No, it wasn't Mordecai. The guy in Esther, man. Haman. Yeah, that motherfucker. Yep. That Edomite cunt, Haman. His main objective was what? Trying to eradicate the 12 tribes. Yep. And that's been the Edomites. It's been that perpetual hatred. You go to Amos 1. Yep. It says what? Because you forsook the brotherly covenant. That's a piece of shit, man. Man, actually blood brothers. And then this guy is just gonna be, fuck that. Fuck them. Fucking niggas.
This is Psalms chapter 82, Slakia 83 and 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Yeah, they that hate me. This is a concept that Jake has a problem wrapping his head around as well, man. These so-called Negroes, they don't really like accepting, like, the other nations don't like them, man. Especially the so-called white man. He really don't like you, man.
When you're ready.
You remember this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he really don't like you. So it's evident. You just look at history. Just look at history. These men are like, oh no, we're free now. We're free. We can go out. We're free. We can do anything. We can even be a president. But that's on a low level, man. Being on a president isn't even, that's not even anything of any kind of great level to be on, man. Being a president is just like a figurehead. You're the figurehead and you have to follow orders. Just like Theresa May, man. Theresa May follows orders, man. She don't even have to have a brain in her head, man. She basically just is gonna do what she's told. They can't rebel, they can't decide, fuck that, I'm not even gonna do that. them guys, they trying, bro. They get messed up. You saying, bro? So we're teaching the Bible, man. Teaching the Bible. We're basically like, do you read the Bible?
Not really.
Yeah, well, in the Bible, there's a man named Jacob, and he has 12 sons, and he gets his name changed to Israel. And basically, them 12 sons, they have sons, and it becomes they become a nation. So we're from that nation, that man, Israel. And we're basically out here saying, like, we're prophesying the end of this current rulership, which is under so-called white men. And we're saying, basically, he's gonna come out of power, and we're gonna come into rulership, man. And this place, like America, is gonna get nuked. World War III is gonna pop off. You know, there's gonna be a release of an RFID chip that will be a mandatory implant of the RFID chip. You know, that's pretty much it. You know, that's the vast majority of our people, man. They ain't really, you know. My man had sliders on, so I was like, it was a done deal from that man. And he had the blonde tips, man. I was like,
yeah, the blonde tips are a dead giveaway, man.
Like, man's at the peroxide already annihilated all kind of brain cells. That's mad, but then that's our people, man. Our people are fucking out of it, man. A lot of them don't really know what the fuck's going on, man. And they don't even want to know, man. Jake, the thing is Jake can get some gooch. Jake can have a so-called good time. That's what they're really thinking about, man. They ain't thinking about no... they ain't thinking about... you know, the Bible, the words of the Bible, the truth of the Bible.
Read it again, this is Psalms 83. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So yeah, they lifted up the head. So that's like, it's like if an animal lifts up his head, he's about to take some action, man. These guys are basically watching and waiting and watching for the time to pounce. Not even, yeah.
They have taken crafty counsel against my people.
Yeah, taking crafty counsel. Because it's funny, it's like, hey, Jake, the thing is Jake weren't always just some retard, absolute lobotomized cases like they are today. You go back like about 60, 70 years, they actually were being militant, they actually were paying attention. They knew these so-called white people didn't like them. But it's like, hey, they've been lulled to sleep. Esau used he used his brain, man. He put plans together. Man used the crack cocaine, man used rap music, drugs, money. A lot of it is basically, you start giving avenues for Jakes to make money, man. Because it's like, you go back to Black Wall Street, the problem with that was, you can't have Jake independently just killing the game. No. Oh, hell no. He's got basically come to the so-called white man for the want of all things. That's right. So that's why it's like, okay, they say, okay, you make the deal now, you can have that money. Okay, you intentionally destroy your people, we're gonna hook you up. And that's what these guys have done. Basically, you got Jake on that rat race, man, on the paper chase, trying to make it out there.
Yeah, he even had it like, I think it was maybe the 80s or 70s. The so-called white men would offer like black women like these talk shows. And all these black women just cursing out this so-called black man. I'm saying they get paid for it as well. And it's spread that agenda all over. It's crazy.
For they have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation. But the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Yeah, that's it. They basically just want to cut off Israel from remembrance. And it's a spirit, because the Lord's got the judgment on them. But Esau's going to be cut off, man. The chief of the heathen, the top enemy that Israel's had and the thing is, imagine since we came as Israel, that's Esau's been on the scene, man. So that's been from the inception, from the womb, man. Remember, we're enemies from the womb. Doing combinations on man in the womb, man.
And it says, for they have consoled together with one consent. They are confederate against me.
Yeah, they're confederate, man. They're getting together, so they've made a league together, man. Just like you got the League of Nations, the United Nations, the EU, NATO, all these different power structures of basically Esau getting together and bringing the heathen as well underneath it to basically use their power to, and primarily that power is being used for what? For the subjugation of the nation of Israel, man. And you can see it. Why is it that, okay, they attacked like the black household, man, with women's liberation, that applied chiefly to Israel, the 12 tribes, man. These black and these Hispanic women are feeding into that more. A lot of these white women, especially when you get up to the guys that have more money, them white women fall in line, man. They ain't really messing around. When you go to the elites, they don't even play. So a lot of the guys with money, they might even just like, they can still get women to behave in a certain, on a certain level. But it's like for Jake, they've just had to deal with pure rebellion. And that goes back to slavery as well. They started off with the Willie Lynch letter, basically breaking down the so-called black man in front of the woman and making her the head of the household. And it's like, what? This so-called black woman, now she's got basically the power to just be a rule, tell the black man, what to do. She ain't looking to give that out, man. He actually studied the scriptures, so he knows how these women go down, man. Women are rebellious.
And it says, the tabernacles of Edom.
Yeah, the tabernacle, the first one. The tabernacles of Edom, man. The so-called white man. That's the chief enemy, man, we've had. And what? He's the guy who orchestrated the transatlantic slave trade, man. So if he orchestrated that, how much can this guy really love you, man? Man orchestrated it. Then afterwards, it's just like, okay, you're free now, but you still have to work for it. You ain't got shit. Didn't even ship you back home, man. No return trip.
Then you're supposed to help him when he falls off a bike.
Yeah. Man, give me a fucking break, man. What an asshole. Alright, go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
Yeah, the Ishmael as well. Ishmael's basically been with, they've been in league with the so-called white man for a good little while. These guys have got their little deals. They got their little Arab sheiks. They're making money, man. That oil is a big part of how the so-called white man basically rules the earth, man. Because oil is basically access to, use oil like fossil fuels and pretty much everything, man. Man can actually throttle the production rate of your country by limiting the amount of resources you get. So that's like one, controlling them big resources. That's how the so-called white man basically kept these guys subservient, man. And they have to use the dollar as well, man. That money system. That's a big way that these guys. Esau can either blow you up, or he can get you that loan from the IMF. It's the same result, man. You lose. Good day, sir.
And the Moabites and the Hagarenes.
Yeah, the Moabites. That's the so-called Chinese. These guys, everyone's making a fuss like, oh, the Chinese are gonna rule next, blah blah blah. But these guys, their whole economy is propped up by American consumerism. A lot of the production that they've got going in their company, what is a company, in their country, is basically selling goods to Americans, man. Because America's a big consumer. They're a bunch of idiots, man. Them guys are consuming. Them guys, what's America really producing like that, man? Really, a lot of people going to China, to Korea, to Japan, to Germany, for a lot of things, man. America ain't really top king for anything production-wise. Maybe Hollywood. But imagine, that's it, just lies. You got something?
This is Revelations 18. Start from verse 8 or verse 2. And he cried,
There she goes again. Here we go again.
Well, you could say that. Do you read the Bible? Well, okay, so you read the Bible, yeah? So you know about who the 12 tribes of Israel are. So basically, like, we're the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Oh, what, like your heritage? Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah? Where you from?
West London.
Where's your dad from?
My dad's from Scotland.
Scotland, yeah?
But see, I was, it doesn't matter because when you become a Christian, do you know what I mean? You're part of the new covenant. The blood, do you know what I mean? You're part not
Well,
in the
okay,
new
I'll
covenant.
just
It
tell
doesn't
you.
matter where you're from.
I'll tell you this. Basically, there's certain things that are in the Bible. Well, let's just say there's certain things, a lot of things in Christianity which aren't in the Bible.
Like what? Like we've got the same Bible as you.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So we're gonna show you. So go to
New covenant.
no. Okay, well you're gone.
Go to the new covenant.
Yeah, because it's well you mentioned it, so yeah, well, that's a good point.
This
to
is
start.
Hebrews chapter
Because, hey, the new covenant is very important, right? You know, that's the only way you're gonna
Because
get
if there
saved,
wasn't a
right?
problem with the old covenant, Jesus wouldn't need to bring in the new covenant.
Well, what was the problem with the old covenant?
The problem was that we sin. We all fall short of the glory of God. We can't keep up
No, but
with all of the laws.
who was the old covenant given to?
Moses.
And who was Moses with? Well, Moses gave it to who? When he came down from
Moses
Mount.
gave it to the Jews, the people of Israel.
Yeah, the Israelites. Okay, so then the first covenant was with the Israelites, right?
Yeah, but then Jesus brought the new covenant. Because
Yeah,
when he came, the
okay.
Gentiles were saved.
I'm establishing a point. The first covenant was made with the Israelites, and the fault was found with the first covenant, right? Which is with the Israelites. Okay, go on.
This is Hebrews chapter 8. We start from verse 6.